Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt, standing by for Senator Tom Cotton. I think he may have been out celebrating too much because the Arkansas Razorbacks have made it to the NC2A Sweet 16. I'm not sure that's actually ever happened before. That's a brand new thing. In the meantime, there he is, Congressman Cotton. Are you out celebrating too much because the Razorbacks made it to the Sweet 16? That the first time ever?
No, Hugh. I'm still commiserating with you, though, over Ohio State's loss to Oral Roberts. Don't worry. We are going to vindicate the Buckeyes when we beat Oral Roberts this weekend.
Be careful of those people. They're tricky. They're obviously very, very tricky. But you drew, Oral Roberts in the Sweet 16. That's really not very fair. Do you have a comment? Do you have a comment on Supreme Court deciding to reinstate the case of whether or not to reinstate the death penalty for the Boston Marathon bomber? The Trump administration thought that it was granted. They're going to hear the case. Not sure what Team Biden's going to do.
Yeah, Hugh, I think it's the first real test of Joe Biden and the Attorney General and whether or not they're going to uphold the laws as written and sentences handed down by a jury of American citizens. The liberal Court of Appeals decision vacated the Boston Marathon bomber's death penalty. The Supreme Court, thankfully, granted the petition for review filed by the Trump Department of Justice, and now it's going to be up to the Biden Department of Justice to vigorously defend that sentence and to hopefully win at the Supreme Court. That's certainly what I hope they do. But based on what Merrick Garland and some of these other nominees have said at the Judiciary Committee, I think it's an open question whether or not they're going to stand by this verdict that was handed down by a jury of American citizens against a heinous terrorist criminal.
No, we will be standing by. There was a good hearing yesterday with great participation by Justice Barrett on the reintroduction of property rights, what a concept, into various labor laws. Let me ask you, Senator Cotton, yesterday the U.S., the U.K., and Canada all imposed sanctions on the Chinese Communist Party for their genocide against the Uighurs. I think the new book by Josh Rogan lays out what we already know, you know, and I know it, that genocide is underway against the Uighurs and other ethnic minorities. Do you believe that Team Biden will follow through on what is a promising first step?
Well, I hope they will, Hugh. China's treatment of its own people, especially religious and ethnic minorities, is a crime against humanity. And in particular, what they've done to this minority in northwest China, interning millions of them in concentration camps and gulags and re-educating them and sterilizing the women when they're not engaged in mass rape of the women, is particularly heinous. And it goes up to the highest levels, Hugh. There's no doubt that Xi Jinping is specifically directing this campaign of genocide against this minority in northwest China. So the Biden administration and the rest of the civilized world should hold Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party accountable for these crimes.
On the same day, though, the incoherence of this administration, Wall Street Journal headline, U.S.-China climate envoys to meet despite frosty Alaska talks. John Kerry is going to sit down virtually with his Chinese counterpart and talk about climate change. Again, what's going on with the Uyghurs is what happened with the Jews in Nazi Germany in the early 30s, and it escalated from there. I do not understand how one can talk climate change while a genocide is underway.
Yeah, Hugh, the only surprising thing about that story is that John Kerry is going to speak virtually with a counterpart from China. Normally, he would be flying on a private airplane and staying in a five-star luxury hotel. But everything else is totally par for the course for John Kerry and, unfortunately, for Joe Biden. And I'm afraid, as I have been all along, that they're going to trade off some fanciful, theoretical reduction in carbon emissions by China in 2084 in return for, say, giving up Taiwan or sacrificing more American jobs or turning a blind eye to the ethnic cleansing in Western China. I certainly hope that won't be the case.
Or the continued cover-up over COVID. In Rogan's book on China, Chaos Under Heaven, you were cited as the original hardliner on the Wuhan Lab. Everything you said about the Wuhan Lab is being vindicated with every day that goes by, Senator Cotton.
Yeah, Hugh, I wish I wouldn't have been right about this virus, back when Washington was obsessed with Donald Trump's impeachment trial. His first impeachment trial, I guess I have to say now. In January of 2020, I was trying to sound the alarm with the president and my peers on down. The president got it pretty quickly when he grounded flights from China. But even the Democrats still continued to say for weeks that that was an overreaction and that we're spreading conspiracy theories when we said it may have leaked from this laboratory in Wuhan. But as you say, most reporting now suggests what I said all along, which although there's not direct evidence and we may never know conclusively because of the duplicity of the Chinese Communist Party. Every bit of evidence and common sense we have suggests that this was a leak from the Wuhan laboratory.
Senator Cotton, this week, a senior East Asian diplomat it was actually last week, told me in person that the Xi timetable for occupying Taiwan has been moved up to 2027. Is that consistent with your understanding, and what do we do in response to that timetable?
2027 may actually be a little late, in my opinion, Hugh. I believe Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party could be going for the jugular in Taiwan as early as next year. And what we have to do is both fortify Taiwan's defenses by continued robust arms sales, but also make it perfectly clear that America will never tolerate China invading and annexing Taiwan. It would be a catastrophic geopolitical disaster.
Write that down, America. Catastrophic geopolitical disaster. Senator Cotton is right again, and he's ahead of the game again. Senator Tom Cotton, thank you. I'll be right back, America, tomorrow on the next Hugh Hewitt Show.